Halloween is upon us once again, a night of all things eerie, spooky and blood-chillingly terrifying. Now on the outside, the Pokemon world might seem like a bright and cheerful place where dreams and adventures await. But Pokemon has a dark side. Quite literally, you have dark-type Pokemon as well as ghost and psychic types, all of which can be creepy and downright scary. But what is the scariest Pokemon? The one single Pokemon that will send the chills down your spine more than anyone else? A good starting point would be to look at what scares people in our world and relate that back to the world of Pokemon. Many people have overwhelming fears of specific objects, situations or animals. These are known as phobias. And one of the most common phobias is arachnophobia, a fear of spiders. There are so far 3 different families of spider Pokemon, the Ariados, Galvantula and Araquanid lines. To be honest, I wouldn't say any of these Pokemon are particularly scary, but to pick one I'd have to go with Ariados, simply for its Pokédex entry in Diamond, Pearl and Platinum, which states, it attaches silk to its prey and sets it free. Later, it tracks the silk to the prey and its friends. Ariados lulls you into a false sense of security, making you think you're safe from its grasp. Little do you know, Ariados is tracking your every movement, waiting to strike until the time is right, taking you and all those around you for its dinner. Although there is nothing to suggest that Ariados actually eats humans, its prey is more likely to be other smaller bug Pokemon, so unless you're a Caterpie, you've got nothing to worry about with Ariados. The problem with phobias is that for the most part, they're inherently irrational. While some people might have a crippling fear of snakes, there are other people who absolutely adore them and keep them as pets. We have to look at some more universal fears that apply to pretty much all of us. But what is it that makes something scary? What is it that causes fright and terror in all of us? We could go by looks. There are a lot of things that are visually frightening, and there are certainly a lot of scary looking Pokemon. Duskull is a prime example with its Pokédex entry in Emerald version stating, a glare from its single scarlet eye makes even barely grown-ups freeze in utter fear. Looks, however, are entirely subjective. Just like with phobias, what applies to one person may not necessarily apply to someone else. It's also very easy to become desensitized to the look of something. A quick glimpse of Sablei's glowing eyes peering at you in a deep dark cave is much more terrifying than seeing one out in the open in broad daylight. This is precisely the reason why the less is more approach often works best in horror films. The original Alien film from 1979 is much more scary than its sequels because we barely get to see the alien. And when we do catch a glimpse, it's just for a brief moment, cloaked in darkness and obscured in close-up. Our brains fill in the blanks, projecting our own thoughts, our own anxieties, our own fears. For that reason, we can't work out what the scariest Pokemon is by looks alone. No Pokemon can be that visually terrifying. Or can it? Well, there is one. Sun and Moon's Pokédex entry for Mimikyu states that its actual appearance is unknown. A scholar who saw what was under its rag was overwhelmed by terror and died from the shock. Okay, so if looks don't determine the scariest of all Pokemon, then surely it's the stories that surround them that do. Or at least lead us in the right direction anyway. There are many Pokemon with odd, weird and downright creepy Pokédex entries. You have Pokemon like Frostlass, whose entry says that when it finds humans or Pokemon it likes, it freezes them and takes them to its chilly den where they become decorations. And you've also got Cofagrigus. It has been said that they swallow those who get too close and turn them into mummies. These are Pokemon that you would definitely not want to meet on a dark night. They are truly dangerous and terrifying beings that could certainly spell your doom. But these are creatures that not many people are likely to come across, so it's probably not worth worrying about them too much. Ultimately, fear comes from the unknown and the ambiguous. Ambiguity scares us because our brains can't process enough information to ensure our safety and our survival. If we don't know what's about to come next, we get anxiety, panic, fear. If you're lying in bed at night and hear a loud piercing scream, it's scary. But it's not the scream itself that's scary. It's what that scream represents. Sure, it just could be someone playing a joke on the friends, but it could also mean genuine danger. An actual threat to your life. A possible end to your existence. Taking all of this into account, I think I've found the scariest Pokemon of all. This Pokemon plays into the biggest unknown that there is. Death. This is a Pokemon that I never would have even considered to be a contender, but after looking into it and really thinking about it, I truly believe that Lampent is the scariest Pokemon of them all. Just hear me out with this one. Right off the bat, Lampent's Pokédex entry in Pokemon Black version states this Pokemon is feared. But its Pokédex entry in White, and Alpha Sapphire versions is really what sealed the deal for me. It arrives near the moment of death and steals spirit from the body. Lampent is literally the Pokemon world's equivalent of death, the Grim Reaper. Its arrival signifies that your time's up. You are about to die and there's nothing you can do about it. You can try to fight it, you can try to run away, but in the end, the Reaper always wins. Lampent will be there when you say your final words, when you think your final thoughts, and when you breathe your final breath. So who do you think is the scariest Pokemon of them all? Do you agree with me, or do you think I am way off? Is there any that you think I've missed completely? Please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you want to keep up to date with all my latest content, just hit that subscribe button. It would really mean a lot to me. Before you start watching this though, one quick thing. I'm currently doing a giveaway for a copy of Pokemon Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon, and all you have to do is just comment on one of my videos like this one right here to begin with a chance of winning. Also, I want to just say a big thank you to Ace Trainer Liam for tweeting out about my channel. He was a massive inspiration for me to start doing these types of videos, so his support really means a lot to me. If you've not watched his videos before, please check him out. He makes some really fantastic content. Anyway, until next time, ta-da and happy Halloween!